Okay, now we need to solve these equations for x. So all of these are, you see x to the third, so there are three answers. But here's the problem we have that we haven't run into. I count the number of, it's set, it's already set. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Well, I ain't never seen one with 4 terms, okay? I know 2 terms is GCF DOPS and 3 terms is GCF T. 4 terms, never seen that until now. This is how you set up 4 terms. You don't do a GCF box at the beginning. You make this big box here. Give yourself some room underneath it, okay? That's known as your grouping box. Grouping. And then we need a second box for the dots, okay? And DOPS. Well, I know how to set up dots. It's just the 2 parentheses with 1 plus, 1 minus. How about that grouping, though? You set up what we have here. You're going to put in 2 parentheses plus a second parentheses. And then the same thing, but you're going to put little lines outside your parentheses to the bottom left. And then finally, you're going to close it with 1 parentheses with a line outside. Okay. Now here's how you execute the grouping, factor by grouping. You put 1x to the third minus 6x to the second. You put the first 2 together. Then you put negative 9x. You've got to make sure you go negative 9x plus 54. Okay, then I'm going to do what I did in that last packet, okay? We're going to decide what to divide these by, okay? Think back to the last packet. You check for negative, you check for x, and then you go GCF calculator. So I don't have a negative in front here, so don't put negative. I do have one here. And then x, well, we have x here and x here, so second power is the smallest. I don't have x on this 54, so I can't put x underneath there. Then I GCF calculate the 1 and the 6. That's a 1, okay? Then I GCF calculate the 9 and the 54. That's a 9, so I'll put a 9 with my negative that I have down there. Now here's what happens. Under the lines I have 1x to the second, so I put 1x to the second out here. And here under the lines I have negative 9, so I put that out here, and then I just divide. 1 divided by 1 is 1, and on x's we take 3 minus 2, which is 1, okay? And then I take negative 6 divided by 1, which is negative 6, so minus 6. And then these are to the same power, so we get rid of those. Don't put an x on that number ever. Now, scribble out your first power, and then come over here. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is 1 with x. And then 54 divided by negative 9 is negative 6. Now look at these 2 parentheses. What do you notice about them? They're exactly the same. So what we do is in this space we make a parentheses and we put 1x minus 6. Now what that allows me to do is slash these out, okay? And I have 1x to the second power, negative 9, so 9 minus, don't put plus negative. Now, DOPS, here's what happened. This parentheses on the left, you drop that straight down. It just goes right down there, kind of like you would with a GCF. Now, DOPS, remember the rules for DOPS, okay? Here, I'll get the sheet so we have it. If I can find it. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Just look at this part down here. Now, do we have x to the second in that second parentheses? Remember, we're looking only at this parentheses on the right. X is second there, so XX. Is the second number negative? Yeah, 9's negative. Turn this over and see if the numbers are perfect. 1 and 9, okay? Well, 1 is 1 times 1. 9 is, that's 3 times 3. Okay, now we have all our F factors. All the parentheses have X's, so F1, F2, F3. You put equals 0 on that, and then I set each one equal to 0 individually. Then you dot your X's, circle them, and you do the algebra. You add 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. 1 times X equals 6. Divide by 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Okay, minus 3. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Then divide by 1. Negative 3 divided by 1 is negative 3. Then I add 3. So 1 times X equals 3. And then divide by 1 keeps us at 3. Okay. Next problem. Again, there's 3 answers because of X to the third power this time. So slap a 1 there, and you have 4 terms. You're set, okay? That's not a problem. So with 4 terms, again, this is my setup now, okay? The boxes, I draw a big, large box and label that grouping. You can just put GR if you want to, GROUPING. And then a second smaller box with DOPS. Okay, so grouping. So these 2, and then the parentheses with the lines outside. If you have to go outside the box, that's fine. So grouping, I write 1x to the third plus 5x to the second in that parentheses, and then negative 16x minus 80 in that one. Okay, so divide, 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 divide. Now think back to that sheet. 3 things you check for: the negative, the x, and the GCF. So negative, that front number's not negative, so don't put negative under those lines. But this is negative, put negative underneath. Okay, x, we have 2 x's, so second power is lower. But here I just have x here, but not here, so don't put x. You cannot put x there. GCF the numbers, 1 and 5 together, and 16 and 80 together. So 1 and 5 is 1, so I put a 1 with the x to the second. Then 16 and 80. That's 16, so I put 16 with the negative. Okay, now we roll on. 1x to the second goes out here. Negative 16 goes out here. Now 1 divided by 1 is 1. And then I take 3 minus 2, which is to the first. And then 5 divided by 5 is 1 is 5. We cross those out because they have the same power. Negative 16 divided by negative 16 is 1 with x. And then I take negative 80 divided by negative 16. Whoops. It's 5. So plus 5. Get that 1 out of there, that first power. So in each parentheses, we have 1x plus 5. So I bring that out. Now slash those out because you have x to the power of 2 negative 16. So since that's a negative, we write minus 16. 1x to the power of 2, sorry. Okay, this drops down, so parentheses 1x plus 5, because that's my F1 every single time. Now DOPS, remember how to do DOPS, okay? Do we have x to the second within that parenthesis, that second one? Yup. Is the second number negative? Yup, it is. Are the numbers 1 and 16 perfect? 1 is 1 times 1. And 16 is perfect because 16 is 4 times 4. Okay, so that's F2. That's F3. You got your 3 answers. 0 is not going to be one of the answers when you use grouping. Okay, so just remember that. It is with 2 terms and 3 terms with the 3 answers, but not with 4 terms. There's a reason why that is, but just follow the process. So dot your x, that's a plus 4. Okay, now minus 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Divided by 1 keeps us at negative 5. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Then divide by 1, and that's negative 4. Plus 4, 0 plus 4 is 4. Divided by 1, 4 divided by 1 is 4. Okay. All right, next problem. Again, I have a total of 3 answers because of the third power. Now we're set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 terms, grouping, DOPS. Whoops, I'll set up my DOPS box. Because DOPS is easy, it's just 2 parentheses, one's a plus, one's a minus. Now the grouping, the 2 you got to get the plus sign between them. That's important that you do that. And then the same thing, just with little lines outside. And then 1 parentheses with a line outside. It will work if you follow it. So you have 1x to the power of 3 plus 1x to the power of 2. Then we have negative 16x minus 16. Now, the kicker is what to divide by, okay? After you figure out what to divide by, and that's why we did that first packet, okay? Negative x and GCF, okay? Negative, nope, not here, because that's positive. You up here because that first number is negative, okay? Now take care of the x's. You got 2 x's here. Second power is the lowest. But in this parentheses, this is the only x I have. That has no x, so nope. You can't divide by x if there's not an x there. Then GCF, okay? So 1 and 1. Okay, GCF's 1. And then 16 and 16. GCF 16. Okay. So again, you don't divide all 4 by the same thing. You divide by the same thing 2 at a time. Okay. So 1x to the second pulls out, and then negative 16 pulls out. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. So x to the first, you really don't need that first power there. So you put it down, but then cross it out right away. And 1 divided by 1 is 1. And then since these are both to the second power, they just go away. Don't put an x on that second number. Negative 16 divided by negative 16 is 1 with x. And then negative 16 divided by negative 16 is 1 again, so plus 1. So look at your parentheses, and they're the same. So I put 1x plus 1 out there. And then I have 1x to the second and negative 16. If it's plus negative, you write minus 16. That's what plus negative really means, is just minus. Okay? So drop him. And he's my F1. Now here, DOPS, once again, we know what to do on that. Do we have x to the second within that one? Yep. Is the second number negative? Yep. Turn over to see if the numbers are perfect. So 1 by 1. And 16 is 4 by 4. Okay. And we have my F2 and my F3. Okay, so 1x plus 1 equals 0. 1x plus 4 equals 0. 1x minus 4 equals 0. So minus 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Divide by 1. That keeps me at negative 1. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Divide by 1, and I'm still at negative 4. Okay. Plus 4, and 0 plus 4 is 4. So 4. So you notice how here 0 is not one of the answers. Okay, last one. 3 answers. The equation is set, and you have 4 terms. So again, that's the same thing. The big grouping box, and then the dots box. So again, you put 2 parentheses with a plus sign in the middle. Okay, don't put a sign between your dots right there. Okay, so then the same thing with lines outside. If you go outside your box, who cares? And then 1 parentheses with a line outside. So I have 2x to the power of 3 minus 3x to the power of 2, and then I have negative 18x plus 27. Okay, now underline, but you're only looking at 2 of them, so negative x and GCF. Okay, now negative. That 2 is positive, so don't put negative under either line there. Now in the second parentheses, we have a negative in front, so we make these negative. Okay, x. Well, we got x on both of these to the second power is the lowest. And I don't have x on both of these, so we cannot put x under either line. Now the GCF 2 and 3. Okay, that's 1, 18, and 27. That's 9, okay? So put a 9 with your negative. Okay, so 1x to the second goes out, and negative 9 goes out. 2 divided by 1 is 2 this time. 3 minus 2 is to the first, so get the 1 out. Negative 3 divided by 1 is negative 3, and those x's can go bye-bye. And this one's also going to have 2x minus 3, because that's 2x and negative 3, so minus 3. Okay, in each of these parentheses, they're identical, so we pull out 2x minus 3. And that leaves me with 1x to the power of 2 minus 9. So we drop the 1 on the left, because he serves as F1, and then this I check for the dots. Okay, so again, x is to the second. That second number is negative. Now are 1 and 9 perfect? Well, 1's 1, 1, 9's 3, 3. So 1x, 3, 3, F2, F3. Okay, so 2x minus 3 could equal 0. 1x plus 3 is 0. Or 1x minus 3 is 0. So plus 3. Now this one you actually have to do a division by 2. Okay, so divide by 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Negative 3 divided by 1, and that's negative 3. That's 3. And 3 divided by 1 is 3. Okay.